Hi guys, James Russell here. I'm back. Sorry it's been so long since I've been posting. I'm going to try and do it regularly from now on and try and get this channel into gear. But today, basically I'm just going to do a quick 2-minute tip on essentially what are the best settings for you to have in your DAW. Now this is being done in Pro Tools, or I'm using Pro Tools, but this applies to Logic, Ableton, Reason, Fruity Loops, you name it. These settings are basically what I've found over the years to actually get the optimum output and the most professional results at the same time as not going too crazy and doing like high definition 192 kilohertz or something like that. Now most DAWs or digital audio workstations will come with a 44.1 sample rate, mainly because that's to save resources for people who are first starting out. It means that the project sizes are smaller and it uses less computer resources. Now, for anyone who's into professional music production, Mastered for iTunes has come about, although I was doing this way before that, and that's 48K 24-bit. So at the very least, you want to get the highest quality output for something like Mastered for iTunes and want to be able to at least match it. But I also do 48K because I like to do what's called downsample. Downsampling is pretty crucial, so the idea is that you're recording at a higher quality and then being able to downsample to whatever format you're outputting it, whether it be MP3, 16-bit, 44.1 audio for CD, or now Mastered for iTunes, which is 48K 24-bit. When it comes to headroom, I use a 32-bit float. Essentially, in the old days, 24-bit was as good as you could go, I think, until about 2010. Or 2012 even, when they brought out 32-bit float, and that is thanks to 64-bit operating systems in your computer. So 32-bit float essentially is like liquid headroom. It means it's harder to clip, and it means it's harder to get digital distortion, and that digital distortion is essentially what no one wants. So we all love harmonic distortion and mixing with those kind of things, but digital distortion is the one thing everyone's trying to avoid. And so it means, especially if you're a beginner, it's going to be harder to clip your session, and it's going to be harder to get artifacts or somehow clip your headroom. If anyone's ever done that, you've recorded a vocal and you found out you've chopped off the top of the waveform because you've got a lot of digital distortion artifacts and you've clipped it. So 32-bit float is fantastic. It's a great new invention. The other one is I use WAV form instead of AOF. You can use whatever your preference is. The industry standard seems to be WAV. Mainly because it sounds a little bit more real. I think AIF sounds a little bit plasticky. I know people will probably shoot me down for that. But there you go. 3 of the most important settings when starting up a project. You have to do it at the start of a project. You can't change it later on because it will affect your tuning and a few other things in your pitch in your session. So make sure you do it at the very start. 48K, 32-bit float, so you can at least bounce it down to 24-bit 48K for Mastered for iTunes, which is now the highest quality output in the industry. Or it's now the highest quality output that people sell on digital platforms. So there you go. There's my quick little 2-minute tip. Best project settings for music production. Thank you.